You wake up, you stare at the ceiling, you grab your phone and scroll through other people's lives, the ones who are doing what you keep saying you'll start tomorrow. You feel that urge deep inside to move, to change, to get up and go after it. But you don't. You hesitate. You tell yourself you're tired, that today's just not the day. That's laziness, and it's winning. You think it's just one day off, one more hour in bed, but it's never just one. It becomes a habit, and that habit becomes your identity. And while you sit in that comfort, someone else is working. Someone else is out there grinding, sweating, sacrificing, doing the things you keep avoiding. You say you want more. You say you've got big goals, but you can't build anything if you keep bowing to laziness. Because laziness doesn't just slow you down, it robs you. It robs you of growth, of self-respect, of momentum, of opportunity. And the worst part, it does it quietly. While you scroll, while you overthink, while you say later for the 100th time, it's stealing your future, one wasted moment at a time. You want to be better? Then act like it. Get uncomfortable. Push when you don't feel like it. Move when you'd rather sit. Do the work. Because every time you let laziness win, you give up the life you could have had. Laziness is already taking everything you said you wanted. Laziness is a silent killer. Laziness doesn't kick the door down. It doesn't walk in with a warning. It doesn't announce itself like a fire. It slides in like a shadow, quiet, subtle, undetected. It comes dressed as comfort, wearing the mask of just chill, sounding like just one more scroll, just one more episode, just one more night off. And that's where it gets dangerous, because it doesn't look like failure at first. It looks like rest. It feels like relief. It sounds like a reward. But behind that fake comfort is decay, a slow, silent, invisible decay. Because while you're sitting still, the world is still moving. While you delay, someone else is training. While you hesitate, someone else is taking that opportunity. And when it's time to compete, they'll crush you. Laziness is a liar. It tells you that you've earned a break when you've done nothing. It convinces you that later is a good plan, when later turns into never. And you know the worst part? Laziness feels good in the moment. That's why it's so dangerous. It's a high with no future. It's short-term pleasure with long-term consequences. Every time you choose laziness, you lose something. Maybe not immediately, maybe not tomorrow, but piece by piece, you lose your momentum, your hunger, your edge, your self-respect. You stop chasing what you were built for. You stop waking up with urgency. You stop believing you're the kind of man who gets it done. And deep down, you start settling. You tell yourself, it's fine. It's not that bad. I'm still young. I'll start next week. But next week becomes next month. Next month becomes next year. And before you know it, you've wasted 5 years watching other people live the life you were too lazy to build. Let that sink in. You don't just lose time, you lose identity, you lose power, you lose your masculine drive, the thing that separates the men who do from the boys who talk. Because laziness doesn't just cost you success, it costs you manhood. It turns warriors into watchers. It turns lions into sheep. It turns kings into beggars. And the world, it doesn't care. It won't slow down for you to catch up. It won't pity you for wasting your potential. The world rewards execution. So how do you kill laziness? You move when it tells you to sit. You train when it begs you to rest. You build when it tells you to wait. You don't negotiate with weakness. You don't argue with excuses. You shut them down with action. Every time you feel lazy, that's the signal. Move right now. Don't overthink. Don't wait. Don't scroll. Do something, anything. Build momentum. Build motion, because motion destroys laziness. Laziness feeds off hesitation. Discipline feeds off action. And here's the truth. You will never accidentally become the man you want to be. You have to fight for it. You have to sweat for it. You have to suffer for it. You will be tired. You will be sore. You will be tempted to quit, but you will be proud. You will be strong. You will be unstoppable. Because while others rot in comfort, you rise through commitment. So when that voice whispers again, "Just chill, you got time," you answer back, "No, I've got work." Kill laziness every single day before it kills your drive, before it kills your future, before it kills the man you were supposed to become. This world doesn't wait, and it sure as hell doesn't reward the lazy. Move, grind, dominate, because if you don't kill laziness, laziness will kill you. You're not tired, you're undisciplined. Let's stop sugarcoating it. You're not tired. You're not overwhelmed. You're not burnt out. You're just comfortable, and comfort has made you weak. You say you want success, but you can't even dominate your mornings. You can't even win a day. You say you want to be great, but every time it gets hard, you fold. Every time it's inconvenient, you vanish. Every time it requires discomfort, you suddenly need a break. You're not tired. You're undisciplined. Your mindset has gone soft, and softness is a disease. It spreads fast. It infects your habits, your identity, your results, and then it destroys your potential. You're not physically drained. You're spiritually empty. Why? Because you've abandoned your purpose. Because deep down you know you're capable of more, but you keep choosing less effort, less focus, less pressure, less pain, and that's why you feel stuck. Because men are not built for passive comfort. We're built for pressure. We're built for challenge. We're built for war, and the war is within. You're fighting a war with your own weakness, and if you don't step up, if you don't dominate it, it will own you until your last breath. Every time you say, "I'm tired," what you're really saying is, "I don't want it that bad." Because men who want it don't need motivation. They don't need approval. They don't need a perfect setup or a clear path. They just move. They act. They execute. Discipline isn't about feelings. It's about standards. It's about being a man of your word when no one's watching, when the camera's off, when no one will clap, no one will care, and no one will notice. Do you still show up? Do you still push when your body says rest? Do you still grind when your mind screams quit? Do you still work like hell when life doesn't hand you anything? That's the separator. That's the moment where boys crumble and men are carved, right there, when it's not fun, when it's not exciting, when it's cold, quiet, and lonely. You say you want a better life? Then do the things required to earn it. Nobody's coming. No one's going to drag you to greatness. You have to wake yourself up daily. You have to choose pain over pleasure, discipline over ease, mission over mood. Because mood is temporary, discipline is permanent. Mood says, "I don't feel like it." Discipline says, "Do it anyway." Mood looks for excuses. Discipline finds solutions. Mood wants comfort. Discipline chases greatness. And understand this. Every time you listen to comfort, you're building the future you fear. One where you're behind. One where you missed your shot. One where you tell stories about what could have been. So shut down the lies. Stop saying you're tired when you haven't even scratched your limits. You've got more in the tank, but you're afraid of your own power. You're afraid to go all in. Because that would mean no more excuses, no more hiding, no more blaming anything except the man in the mirror. But here's the truth. You're not lazy by nature. You're not broken. You're just untrained. Train your discipline like a weapon. Sharpen it, test it, make it bulletproof, so that no matter what life throws at you, you don't flinch, you don't fold, you don't break, you build, you evolve, you conquer. Because you're not just here to exist. You're here to dominate. You're here to break the cycle, to build the life your bloodline couldn't. But none of that happens unless you're willing to do the boring, the painful, the brutal work, day in, day out, no matter what. Because when discipline becomes your identity, you don't need hype. You don't need pep talks. You are the storm. You wake up dangerous. You wake up with fire. You wake up a man on a mission. So the next time you say, "I'm tired," remind yourself you're not tired. You're undisciplined. And discipline is your only way out. Comfort is the real enemy. Failure isn't your biggest threat. Comfort is. See, failure teaches you, pain pushes you, but comfort puts you to sleep. It's slow, it's silent, and by the time you realize what it's done to you, it's already taken everything. Your edge, your hunger, your fire. You don't feel it happening. That's the trap. You think, "I'm not in pain, I'm not suffering, so I must be fine." No, you're not fine. You're stuck in the same routine, stuck living on autopilot, stuck doing the bare minimum just to get by, and convincing yourself it's enough. But deep down, you know it's not. Deep down, there's a voice inside of you screaming, "You were made for more than this." And still, you hit snooze, you scroll, you laugh at memes, binge garbage content, pretend you're busy, but you haven't moved one step closer to the man you were meant to become. Why? Because comfort is addicting. Because comfort feels safe. Because comfort whispers lies that sound like truth. Just one more episode. You've been working hard enough. Relax, you've got time. But here's the brutal reality. You don't. You don't have time to waste. You don't have years to throw away waiting for motivation to magically show up. Every second you spend in comfort, someone out there is working, grinding, bleeding, turning pain into power. And one day you'll cross paths with that person and they will destroy you. Not because they were more talented, but because they chose discomfort. Because while you were chilling, they were building. While you were making excuses, they were making progress. While you were looking for shortcuts, they were getting after it, raw, dirty, and disciplined. Listen closely. Comfort is the enemy of progress. It's the death of ambition. It's a warm grave that looks like a bed. You want to win? You want to dominate life on your terms? Then you must go to war with comfort. Train in the cold. Wake up in the dark. Work when no one claps. Show up when you feel broken. Keep showing up until showing up becomes your default. This is the cost of greatness. This is the road no one wants to walk. And that's exactly why it leads to power. You think the real ones love the grind? No. They've just mastered the art of showing up regardless. They don't need to feel like it. They've built themselves into machines that move no matter the mood. Because they know the truth. Comfort won't give you freedom. It'll steal it. You don't get stronger by playing it safe. You don't get better by being balanced. You rise when you bleed for it. You rise when you sacrifice for it. You rise when you stop negotiating with weakness. So ask yourself, when was the last time you made yourself uncomfortable on purpose? When was the last time you said no to the easy paths? When was the last time you walked into the fire when everyone else ran? If the answer is, "I don't remember," then you're too soft. You don't need more comfort. You need more discipline. You need more fire. You need more rage at your own excuses. Because the guy who can suffer more, the guy who can sit in discomfort longer, the guy who can push past limits, ignore distractions, and show up when it's ugly, that's the guy who wins. Not the guy with the best genetics, not the guy with the fancy equipment, not the guy who feels motivated, but the guy who says, "I don't care how I feel, I'm doing it anyway." He wins every damn time. So if you're tired of being stuck, good. If you're uncomfortable, great. That means you're finally waking up. Now lean into it. Let the pain sharpen you. Let the boredom mold you. Let the struggle forge you. Because comfort is for the weak. But you're built for more. Get uncomfortable, get focused, get to work. Because comfort is the killer of kings, and you weren't born to be a servant, you were born to rule. Move like your life depends on it, because it does. This isn't just about waking up early. This isn't just about hitting the gym or checking off a to-do list. This is about survival. This is about war. War against the weaker version of you, the one that settles, scrolls, and softens. Every day you move slow. Every day you put things off. You are handing over your future piece by piece. You think you've got time? Time is not your friend. Time is a ruthless accountant, and it keeps every receipt, every excuse, every skipped rep, every lazy day, and one day it's going to hand you the bill. So let's cut the lies. Let's get honest. You're not stuck. You're just not moving. You're not tired. You're just uncommitted. You're not lost. You're just lazy, and laziness is costing you everything. You want the dream body? You want the money? The respect, the love, the freedom? Then stop acting like life owes you something and start moving like you owe yourself everything, because no one's coming to rescue you. Not your parents, not your friends, not the government, not some lucky break. No one. This is on you. So move. Move like your last name depends on it. Move like your legacy's on the line, because it is. Do it with tired eyes. Do it with sore muscles. Do it when your hands are shaking, your mind is doubting, and the world is laughing. Move anyway. While the world hits snooze, you rise. While others scroll, you strike. While they make excuses, you make progress. That's the difference. It's not about being the most talented. It's about being the most relentless. Be the man who keeps going when it's tough. Be the man who fights even when it's dark. Be the man who shows up when no one's watching because he knows it matters. You don't get another life. You don't get to start over. This version of you, this moment, this chance, it disappears if you waste it. Regret is the worst kind of pain. It doesn't hit all at once. It builds up slowly. And before you know it, you look in the mirror and don't even recognize yourself. Don't let that happen. So move like your life is on the line, because it is. Move with power. Move with focus. Move like you're chasing something you can't live without. Outwork your past. Outlast your old habits. Outdiscipline the weaker version of you. Because this world doesn't reward the lazy, it rewards the ones who stay committed. If you've made it this far, you already know the truth. Laziness isn't harmless. It's a dream killer in disguise. Every time you say, "I'll do it later," you're digging a grave for your goals. So stop waiting. Start moving, because nobody's coming to save you, and your dreams won't wait forever. If you felt that fire, if you're done letting laziness win, comment the word unstoppable, so I know you watched till the very end. And if this hit you hard, like the video. Subscribe for more no-nonsense motivation. Share this with someone who needs to wake up. Now go. Chase what's yours before it's too late.